What you're currently looking at on my iPad is essentially the development of an entire new brand strategy that I've been working on this month of September for a launch that I'm doing in October. Now, I set this plan in motion about 6 weeks ago, and it's been about 6 weeks of consistent integration, learning, adaptation, and a lot of just simmering. I've just been sitting with a lot of things. Because in the learning experience of what I'm essentially going through here is I'm learning how to scale to a multiple seven-figure business model. And one of the things that I've had to learn along the journey is essentially the importance of systems. So what you're looking at right here is how my business model is structured with regards to my service model. There's the business model, which is how the business grows, and then there's my service model, which is what people are guided through, what clients are guided through when they enroll into Coachable. So what you're looking at is 3 phases combined into weekly training. So the 3 phases are the practice, the self, and the business. So if we look at my client clarity statement right here, it says, I help coaches build world-class programs, sell their services with ease, and become people of integrity, right? That's essentially the statement of how I communicate with myself about what it is that I do in the world, right? And when I think about that, it's like, that's a very broad statement because it's supposed to say, if I was to go deeper, is I help coaches that are women build world-class programs that they are passionate about serving, sell their services with ease as they heal their relationship with selling and money, and become women of integrity so that they could show up in a well-balanced masculine and feminine energy. Like, that is what I would like to say, but that doesn't fit into an Instagram bio. So that statement, though, is essentially the premise for these 3 phases: the practice, the self, and the business. The practice is something that I'm so passionate about, which is what I believe I specialize in, which is specializing in teaching coaches how to build coaching practices. And if you follow my journey, you may have seen that I'm adamant about talking about how it's like everyone's talking about business and marketing and lifestyle regarding the coaching business. But I feel like the practice of developing world-class, timeless, turnkey, and integrity-driven coaching practices, I believe that is one of the most important things that we as coaches can focus on, right? So to do that, the process guides clients through the actual building of the practice, how to actually coach, the values within the practice, the brand that is associated to the practice, the onboarding experience of the practice, the lifestyle that the client and the coach have as a part of the practice, the systems that have the practice function, and then the team that helps the practice essentially perform, right? So those are the elements that we put in place when developing a coaching practice. Then there's the self. I simplified the self section to something that I have applied in my life that has been really great. It's called F5, right? So F5 stands for, F5, fitness, food, family, fun, finances. That's F5. F5 is all about creating a way of being in your life where you could practice integrity in your fitness, with the way you eat food, with the relationship that you have with your family, the fun that you have in your life, and your finances, right? So everything in regards to the self is about those 5 things, F5, and then of course the team, which is your health practitioners, your personal trainers, your psychologist, your therapist, anyone that's on your team to help you optimize the version of yourself that you love to be. And then the last section is the business. So the business is the brand, advertising, marketing, sales, team development, and 5-figure fundamentals, FFF. So that section is all about the actual business elements that help you build the actual business itself, which is all the basic standard stuff that you'll find anywhere. It's just when a person decides to hire someone to teach them about business, is like they are attracted to the way they teach business. So sure, it may all be the components that you hear everybody talk about, but maybe I teach it a little differently than someone else teaches it, and maybe you resonate with that, right? So those are the 3 phases that I combine into weekly training for clients, right? Right now, if you go into my program is housed on Kajabi. It's like you'll see, it's like the whole program is modeled there. And what I do is I created something called a prescription model, which is every week I prescribe a client a certain lesson, a meditation, a conversation to be had, an exercise, an activity. There's a prescription that goes with each one of these elements every single week, whether it be the practice, the self, or the business, right? So the industry that I serve is coaching, the niche, coaches whose programs are not effective, right? The duration of my program is 6 months. And then my team is a virtual assistant, a pocket coach, a social media advisor, a mental health expert, and then the head coach. So that's who I have on my team. Now, when I think about summarizing what this whole service model is built off of, well, it's built off of these 3 words. I help products, I help with products, I help people, and I help with profits. So products, I build products that are timeless, turnkey, world-class, innovative, inspiring, effective, and transformative. I help people of integrity, high value, inspiring, responsive, attractive, creative, or balanced, or help them become that. And then profits for their lifestyle design, their charity initiatives, for progressing forward, for creating security in their life, and for having more play, right? So when I outline all of this, it's like I start thinking about how everything in my business and everything in my life on a day-to-day basis, it's all built around certain categories that I focus all my attention and all my genius on. And anything that I don't specialize in, I then put a team member in place for that. So in this case, when I talk about productivity and phases, well, it's broken down into content, servitude, and systems, right? Those are the 3 areas where I love to thrive. So if I was to say content involves creativity, right? Servitude involves serving clients, and then systems involves scaling, for example. So what I'll go ahead and do now is I'll start listing what productivity looks like as a behavior in each one of these sections. And then from there, I then take action on driving what my calendar is gonna look like so that my content, my servitude, and my systems all have a system in place to essentially be acted on. In my case, I'm already starting to build my October calendar now. That's what I'm working on today. Got sidetracked with this video because as I was organizing my business, I was like, I gotta record this. I gotta show them this. So in this case specifically, I'm now preparing my content campaign, right? So I have all my material, right? All this material has already been drafted. I know all these different concepts that I can now turn into content, right? And then from there, I take those topics and I outline it into this section here, which is what creates my calendar. I'll usually create it in this layout as a table. And then from there, once I have everything listed, I'll then put it into a calendar format so that I can see it all kind of laid out. And then from there, essentially get to work on creating. So that's a little glimpse into the preparation of how this journey as a coach entrepreneur kind of looks like for me. Now, this is one of the hardest parts for coaches. Coaches that just want to be coaches usually do not have systems in place, right? Coaches that just want to be coaches, they do not know how to think like this. And I find that to be true because I've served over 300 people that have consistently come to me with the same issues, right? It's like, I don't think like that. I just want to help people. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, it's like, I get it. And it's like, if you have the budget for it, you can just hire people to do everything for you. But if you don't have the budget for it, then you don't have to, but you get to become a coach that practices being a self-employed entrepreneur that innovates the way that they design their lives around servitude, around growth and contribution. And essentially that's what Coachable has become all about, is helping coaches become better entrepreneurs. So if you enjoy this video, support me somehow. And if you don't support me or want to support me, that's totally okay as well. I'll find my way. But either way, I appreciate you guys tuning into this. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to having a conversation with you.